heartbeat of America, today Chevrolet.
They're cheering for Mike Ditka to come back. The Bears are playing well. Mike, we send along our best, and I know that score to you right now is comforting. Igwebuike will be kicking off for Tampa Bay. Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry will be deep for the Bears. Key to the first half, very few mistakes by both clubs. Tomczak, 5 of 10, 94 yards. No big mistakes. Igwebuike kicks off. It's a high end-over-end kick. The wind will knock it down at about the 12. Sanders to the 37-yard line. 21-yard return. Let's bring you up to date on what took place in the first half. It was a solid half for both ball clubs. Rushing yards, 60 for Tampa Bay, 37 for Chicago, and the passing yards also in favor of the Bucs.
And again, they have to get back in the second half, Tim, and try to do what they did in the first quarter, talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they got away completely from the run in the second quarter.
Chris Washington was shaken up on the return, so they're trying to help him off the field. Now he walks off. He appears to be all right. Chris Washington, 6'4", 250-pound, fifth-year player out of Iowa State. It'll be first down and 10. The ball on the 37 for Chicago. 14-3 lead. Tampa Bay has been strong on first downs. Let's see what Chicago can do to improve those numbers with Anderson and Sue in the backfield. Anderson in motion now. Tomczak to throw in the first play, second half. Anderson has it. First down Bears. That'll improve that first down ratio very quickly. Gain of 12, first down Bears.
Here we see the quarterback comparison. Testaverde, 8 of 22 for 104 yards, and Tomczak, 5 of 10 for 95. There were a lot of drop passes, too, on the part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that first half.
You're right about that. A cold afternoon in Chicago. Temperature in the low 30s. Snow earlier. First down and 10. Ball on the 49. Again, Anderson in motion. Again, he goes uncovered. Now they find him in the flat, and it's another first down. Came out, same play, wide open.
Well, playing his own defense, Tim, and when he went in motion, Tomczak looked for the other side, and he wasn't there, and it reiterated what he said earlier in the week. Look at Tomczak. He's all smiles, isn't he? He's full of happiness. He's pleased with himself, but he looked to the right with the idea of hitting a receiver there. He wasn't there. It came right back to the secondary receiver. Watch him. Watch it. He's hollering for the ball, raising his hands, and the ball is finally thrown to him. He makes the catch and goes down the sideline. But a very good read on the part of Tomczak.
Irvin Randall, the linebacker, just drifted out of his hook area. Nobody picked him up in the flats. It'll be first down after a gain of 21. Ball on the 30. Now they give the ball inside to Suey, and he's hit almost immediately by Holmes.
You know, it's very obvious talking to the Bears. They were very, very respectful of the defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and especially Ron Holmes. They said he is a terrific player. They like him very much.
Strange seeing the Bears, though, without Mike Ditka on the sidelines, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this team is an extension of Mike Ditka. You know, they're going to play the way they normally play, and even though he's not here, he's with them in spirit.
A writer said this morning, a Bear game without Ditka's like Disneyland without Mickey Mouse. You're missing the main character. Second down and 10, a lot of pressure. Throw the ball underneath. Suey has the screen, and he has some big yardage down to the 20-yard line. Finally knocked out of bounds by Bobby Futrell, but another big gain, this time 10 yards.
I'm surprised they haven't done much more of that, Tim. You know, we talked about it earlier, but they're playing quite a bit of zone, and I think any time that you play zone, the draws and the screens are very effective.
Suey comes back limping a little bit, holding his right thigh. Tomczak is all smiles. He's having fun now. Big change from when we were talking to him before the game, huh?
That's right. He was uptight a little bit, worrying about what was going to happen. But he's got to feel good about what's happening so far.
Well, they measure, and it is a first. Tomczak 3 for 3 in the second half. Well, we may see something historic here. Bears haven't scored in the third quarter all year.
Isn't it crazy how that works? And of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went a long time without scoring any points in the first quarter. I think they won 7 games.
Chicago's the only team in the league not to score in this period. First down and 10, the ball on the 20. Again, Tomczak uses motion, especially with his tight end Thornton this time. And he goes after Thornton. Thornton was open and couldn't catch the pass.
It didn't look like he got his head around fast enough to see the ball.
Looks like Darth Vader. Maybe that's the reason.
Well, I wonder where his motorcycle is. I kidded him about that the other day when I saw him last week on the field, and I asked him why he wore it. He said, well, Wojciechowski got a finger in the eye, and so I thought I better protect my eyes and wear this mask.
Cold afternoon. Low 30s, wind chill 12 degrees. Snow flurries expected this afternoon. We had a pretty heavy snow this morning. Snow showers. Second down and 10, the ball on the 20 for Chicago. Tomczak has the blitz coming, throws up in the fade. Touchdown Bears. McKinnon. Oh, what a pass by Tomczak, and McKinnon found it.
He caught him in a blitz. Read it perfectly.
Fourth catch of the day for McKinnon. And that timing pattern was perfect. And that's the first score of the year for Chicago in the third quarter. So you can erase that statistic from the books. Kevin Butler for the extra point. The snap, the hold, and the kick are perfect.
.85, man in the slot. Running the pattern down the field into the seam.
Ball's in the air right now.
Yeah, and great anticipation. Ricky Reynolds, number 29, is covering on the play. And he gets there just a little bit late, but McKinnon makes the touchdown catch.
A look at sweetness. Walter Payton. He doesn't look like he's having much fun. He's cold.
He looked like he was having a lot of fun. We saw him in practice the other day. He was all business, wasn't he?
He did. Running through the Bears offices. Light snow is starting to fall again. 21-3 Chicago with 13:38 remaining in the third quarter. Kevin Butler to kick off. Donnie Elder deep for Tampa Bay. Elder. It'll be the up man. Across the 25 to the 27 goes Donnie Smith.
Watch Wojciechowski, the left tackle, number 73. Winston Moss, number 57, is blitzing on the play. Watch Wojciechowski now. Watch him. He blocks the blitzing linebacker, which provides Tomczak with an opportunity to get rid of the football with great anticipation. McKinnon makes a beautiful catch, just like an outfielder in baseball, and makes the catch for the touchdown.
Drive for the Bucs. First down and 10. Right side, pickup of a couple. William Howard, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Singletary. I don't think I'm overemphasizing that, Hank, but this is a critical drive for Tampa Bay if they've got any shot at staying in this ball game.
I think you're right. I think they have to make something happen. And it looks like they're reverting back to what they started to do in the first half by giving the ball to the fullback. Let's see what they do.
Terrier at the bottom of the screen, Hill at the top. They go to Hill on the quick post pattern at the 42-yard line.
Jackson is very concerned about deep patterns. He's looking into the backfield. Look at the big cushion. Now they're going down and cutting to the inside. You don't even see Jackson in the picture. And finally comes up to try to make the play, but Bruce Hill makes the play right in that big hole. And I think we're going to see more of that to try to get him back up on closer to the line of scrimmage than he's been.
Gain of 11, first down. Tate cuts back inside, across midfield into Chicago territory. Fine run by Lars Tate, the rookie out of Georgia. Vesty Jackson finally makes the tackle. All three running backs for Tampa Bay are in their first full year with the Buccaneers. There is a flag.
I talked about Tate earlier, and there was a great illustration of the kind of talent he has. He's a terrific prospect.
Let's listen to Jerry Seaman.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty on the number 24 defense. First down.
Vesty Jackson is the guy who gets called for the penalty. It'll be first down and 10. The ball now on the 33-yard line of the Bears.
There was some poor tackling on the part of the Bears on the last play too, Timmy.
Hill comes to the bottom of the screen. Carrier to the top. High formation. Play action. Testaverde's in trouble. Scrambles away. And throws incomplete. Great feel for the backside pressure by Testaverde.
And here again, that was a play action fake, and Testaverde had his back to Richard Dent. Watch number 95 coming in the outside. Watch this. He fakes inside, and Testaverde, again, as you mentioned, great feel for pressure, scooted to the outside and got rid of the football before he got hit by Richard Dent, number 95.
Dent's tough to get away from, too. 7 sacks this year. Led the Bears in sacks last year with 13.5. Most valuable player of the '85 Super Bowl.
They've got to go on more quick counts to disturb that defense of the Bears. They're not doing enough of that, Tim.
Second and 10. Again, there's pressure. Testaverde throws this one, and Hill takes his eye off the ball.
Going back to the quick count, you know, Tim, what happens, Vesty Jackson is coming up real close, and then he's backing off once he starts to cadence. If he went on a quick count, he could take advantage of him while he's on the line of scrimmage and go up on top and try to make a big play.
Well, on 3rd and 10, the Bears load up as Maurice Douglas and Todd Crum come into the ball game. So now they've got 6 defensive backs in. Look at the numbers on Testaverde. Ball at the 33, 3rd down and 10. 11:39 remaining, 3rd period. It's 21-3 Chicago. 4 wide receivers for the Bucs. Testaverde with time. Intercepted. Todd Crum.
Richardson got the tip, it looked like, and Todd Crum comes up with the interception.
That's Testaverde's 23rd interception of the year. It has him on a pace that would break the single-season interception record of 42 pickoffs set in 62 by George Blanda.
Here we see the play. Watch Richardson coming up. Should have made the interception. It bounces through his hands and is intercepted by Todd Crum, number 44. Decision on the part of Testaverde. Now look at, he's back in the shotgun formation. He gets the ball. He looks like he takes a quick peek to the left side. Now he comes up. Now he looks, whoop, I might run. No, he stops and then tries to force the ball. And Richardson should have made the interception, but Todd Crum finally comes up with it.
Testaverde now 9 of 26. That's his first interception of the day. First down and 10. The ball on the 9 for the Bears. Straight ahead to Suey. He gets a couple of tough yards. Harry Swain makes the tackle. Bears have not been successful running the football today.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Mike Ditka is not happy with that part of it. He's happy with the way the score is, but he likes for his team to be able to run the ball better than they've run it here this afternoon.
Well, I want to tell you, you look at that, you don't want to say, hey, my biggest ball carrier is my quarterback. This is the worst field position the Bears have had all day. Second down and 5 at the 13. Let's listen to Tomczak. Give to the fullback, Suey, and again, tough going. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
They sent Anderson in motion to the left side again. The last 2 times they did that, he was wide open in the flat. It'll be interesting to see if they come back with that and throw the ball back to Anderson on that man in motion play.
Tackle was made by Ron Holmes, who was inactive last week with a sore elbow. He's been playing well here today. He's fully recovered. Rod Jones comes into the game now as you look at Holmes. Rod Jones comes into the game at cornerback for Tampa. He's at the bottom of your screen there as you see him walk off down by the 3rd and 6. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Shotgun for the Bears on 3rd and 6. 5 defensive backs for Tampa. This one incomplete. Crowd wanted pass interference. So did the coaches.
And they caught him in his own defense. There were folks dropping back into the area.
The only penalty that's going to be called here is holding against the Bears. And that will most certainly be declined by Tampa Bay.
Holding. Number 73 offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
John Wojciechowski was called for holding. Penalty is declined, so Wagner comes on to punt. Bobby Futrell will be standing at the 49-yard line. Keep in mind, he ranks 4th in the NFC in punt returns. He's dangerous. It's a high wobbling punt. It'll take Futrell all the way back to the 42-yard line, and now he'll look for help from the wall. Gets a good block. And back to the 45-yard line. So a 46-yard punt and just a 4-yard return before Brad Muster makes the tackle.
And Henry Rolling that time, number 55, really got a great block.
When we come back, we'll see if Testaverde's been unnerved with his first interception. 30 miles per hour. Light snow flurries falling right now at Soldier Field, where the Bears lead at 21-3 over Tampa Bay. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. Testaverde, good field position here. He's going to go right back to the air. Does. This time across the middle, incomplete. It was intended to Mark Carrier. Carrier wanted pass interference on Vesty Jackson.
And Jackson played that very well. He's kind of getting used to seeing him go inside. Had good anticipation on the play. Was right there to make the play. Watch Jackson, 24. Coming to... Oh, he's got his hands on him, too, there, Timmy. Looked like it could have been pass interference.
That's what Carrier wanted. Vinny Testaverde just 1 of 5 in this half. 2nd down and 10. Straight ahead, Tate bangs his way to the 47-yard line. Gets a tough couple before Steve McMichael takes him down. Hey, don't forget, coming up after this game, CBS doubleheader continues with San Francisco against Phoenix or New Orleans against Washington, and that is a very, very critical game for the Washington Redskins. Actually, it's critical for all of them, but for the Super Bowl Redskins, it is paramount.
They better win this one, or else they'll be in trouble.
6 defensive backs for the Bears.
Something in the middle would be appropriate, Timmy. It looks like he's going to be wide open with a double zone.
3rd down and 8. Testaverde throws to Hill, complete. Oh, what a pass and catch. They say it wasn't complete. Boy, I don't know. I thought he had it, Hank.
It looked like he was awful close, but I'm surprised that he even had a chance. They were in double coverage, double zone, and in spite of that, he got the ball right out there, perfect shape. Look at this, right over the top.
1, 2. Well, they're going to review it. I say they should. Of course, I don't have a say in it.
But they should. There's no question about that. They should review it.
And they're going to. Take another look at it. I still say he had it.
Let's see it now again. He has to have possession, which he does. And then he has to have both feet in bounds.
Dave Kamansky and Dick Maxwell in that little booth doing their homework. They'll run that one back a couple of times, and now Jerry
After
Seaman.
further review by instant replay, the play stands. 4th down.
Inconclusive visual evidence whether he had control of the football or not.
I think that was really the big issue. As he was trying to bring the ball down. You couldn't tell for sure whether he had control of it.
Low snap. Griswold has trouble with it. Ball's still loose. And it's a moot point. The Bears will have great field position. That's 16 turnovers in the last 3 weeks for Tampa Bay.
Here we see it come back. You need a first baseman's glove to make that play. It's rolling around the ground. He makes a mistake of trying to look up to see who was coming rather than just pick it up, but it wouldn't have made any difference. It would have still been the Bears' ball, 1st and 10, with excellent position.
Tom McHale is the snapper, and that was a low snap. First down, Bears. Sanders in motion. Tomczak to throw. Has plenty of time going deep. Has a receiver. Caught at the 5, and Gentry runs out of bounds at the 1, but it could have been Gentry or McKinnon to make that catch.
And it was a bad pattern. Both of them were very close together. The way he threw it, it didn't make any difference who he was throwing it to. Either one of them had a chance to make that play.
A gain of 41 yards.
Watch both receivers. They were in the slot. Gentry on the outside. McKinnon coming to the out. See, and look how close they are together. Both of them are looking at the ball. But Gentry winds up making the catch. And it's the Bear ball, 1st and goal on about the 2.
Well, I think we'll score it like this. Gentry gets the catch. McKinnon gets the tackle. 1st and goal at the 2 Bears. Now Tomczak wants a timeout. And so the Bears will take one. Well, Chicago had loaded up. They had Moorehead and Thornton at tight ends, power formation, and Tomczak says, wait a minute, let's talk about this. Thought it was interesting talking with Mike Tomczak. Though he feels for Mike Ditka, he also feels very relaxed without him on the sidelines. 8 minutes and 31 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. It's 21-3 Chicago, but the Bears are awfully close to the end zone once again.
They're ready to strike again, and this would be a great time for a play-action pass. However, I doubt very much if Landry will call it here, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. But this would be a great time for a play-action.
Sanders and Suey, the setbacks. 2 tight ends, Moorehead and Thornton, power formation, 1st and goal. There's your play action, and there's your touchdown. Emery Moorehead. He's the oldest Chicago Bear, Emery Moorehead. He now has 11 catches. That's his 2nd touchdown of the year as you look at a very concerned Ray Perkins.
Talking to Ray yesterday, he really felt good about his chances to win this game this afternoon, didn't he?
He sure did. And Butler's kick is good. I should also tell you, I felt there would be an upset.
I think you kidded about that. I don't think you really believe it.
I think you're right. Well, you called it, the play action to Moorehead. What was it that tipped you?
Well, I just feel personally this is a great time to run a play action pass on 1st and 2 because it's an easy way. They're expecting a run. They're all coming on there and take a sniff of the fake, and that's exactly what happened. A beautiful fake by Tomczak, and he pumps the ball right over the top to Moorehead for the touchdown.
Harry Hamilton took more than a sniff. He came all the way up to the line of scrimmage, took a bite out of it as you look at Tomczak, and he's having fun.
The anchovy was almost right down, halfway down his neck.
Michael Tomczak, 6'1", 198-pounder out of Ohio State. 11-2 as a starter, and that number looks like it could go to 12-2 today, and he's never lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's 4-0 coming into this game.
And he looks like a totally different quarterback today than he did when he had to go into the game last week against New England and trying to play catch-up football, which is understandable.
What do you think about the comments he made? I mean, he obviously feels a lot of concern and sympathy for Mike Ditka, but he said, quite honestly, he says, to be brutally honest, guys, I'll be much more relaxed without him yelling at me on the sideline.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether that's an excuse or rather than a reason. I came back, you remember, and I said, well, what about your dad? I guess your dad used to holler at you a lot when you played high school football. He said, yeah, he did.
He said, but he knew me better.
Yeah.
Kevin Butler has the ball fall off the tee, so he'll re-tee it. Get out the driver and get all set. Donnie Elder is standing on his own goal line. And the crowd has come to life at Soldier Field. Elder will take this one at the 7. Slides past the 25 to the 28-yard line, carrying tacklers. College football on CBS. Coming up next week, we've got a good one. War Eagle. Tracy Rocker anchors an Auburn team that leads the nation in total defense as the 9th-ranked Tigers take on Uga and the Georgia Bulldogs, led by junior running back sensation Tim Worley in a pivotal SEC battle. Worley, a look here, had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns yesterday against Florida. It's Georgia and Auburn next Saturday on CBS Sports.
What's Uga? Is that a horn or what?
You saw a good look at Uga. I think it's Uga, though. Uga's that dog.
That dog's got a tongue that weighs about 50 pounds. You see it hanging out there that time?
Uga's the sound of your horn and your old Willies. Morrissey made the tackle. He was just activated. William Howard was the ball carrier. Woke up this morning as you see the skyline of Chicago. Looked out the window and was shocked at the snow that was coming down.
I looked out and I put the shade right back down again. I didn't want to look any further.
2nd down and 4. Testaverde checks off. 3-step drop, throws, carrier can't hold on to it. While we have a chance, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim. Off a 4th and 1, Cunningham faking finds Byers open down the middle, and after the extra point, the Eagles take a 7-point lead on the Rams, 17-10. Back to Tim and Hank.
Boy, that's a good ball game. I saw Keith Jackson score that touchdown earlier. Here it's 28-3, 7:25 remaining 3rd quarter. Tomczak's having a fine afternoon.
You're talking about Keith Jackson. He's got to be the rookie of the year. He's a terrific tight end, isn't he?
I agree with you. He's got my vote. 3rd down and 4. Ball on the 34. Hill in motion. 6 defensive backs for the Bears. Here they come from the outside. Tomczak drills, or Testaverde rather, drills this one in the direction of his tailback, Lars Tate, and I mean it was drilled.
You talk about a frozen rope, that was one, but I think, you know, Timmy, they had a double zone on the outside. Everything faded on the outside, and the middle was wide open. Hall came across the middle, but they never looked at him and didn't have one chance at all to make the play.
Ray Criswell comes on to punt. Dennis McKinnon will be deep. Tom McHale is the center. He rolled the last one back. The Bears recovered and went on to score, so keep an eye on this snap and the punt. A low line drive. McKinnon at the 23. Gets a good block, cuts back inside, across the 40, and they'll mark it at the 39. Just a reminder, on Tuesday, make your voice heard. Vote. Then watch Dan Rather and CBS News for full election coverage. But get out and vote. Who do you like in that one, Hank? No, I'm just teasing. Don't say. Don't tell me. I don't want you to influence me. 1st down and 10.
I'll say
Ball on the 40.
Say what Frank Leahy used to say, I'm a political independent.
Morris in motion. The give straight ahead to the 43-yard line. Ball's loose. Tampa has it. And there was no hesitation in that signal. Harry Hamilton made the recovery, Hank.
He's looking. He's got the ball in the front instead of on the side. It looked like trying to read where he's going to run. Evidently it popped out of there. And Harry Hamilton, number 39. Here we see it as Anderson runs the football. He's a little hesitant. Normally there, the ball popped out of there and is recovered by Hamilton. Get a better picture of it from that last shot.
First Chicago turnover of the afternoon. Testaverde to throw on first down, has pressure. And it's incomplete. William Howard was in the area. Well, I tell you, that'll get your attention when you see Big Al Harris and Dan Hampton coming down at you.
It makes you make a very, very quick decision. There's no question about that. You know you're going to throw the ball someplace. Get rid of it.
Bears get a good 7-man rush out of those 4 guys up front.
Yes, they do. And they're wide enough and big enough to be 7 guys.
That defensive front 4 averages 274 pounds. And they're quick. Second down and 10 at the 43. Better hurry. The clock's down to 3 seconds. Gets it off at 1. Testaverde throws it across the middle. It's complete. Down inside the 25 to the 22-yard line goes Bruce Hill.
Richardson bumped him on a line of scrimmage, but he got away from him. Watch him. He's in the slot. Watch Richardson overrun him, overmove him, trying to get a bump on him. And Bruce Hill makes the catch and scampers right up the field for the big gain on the play.
That's Hill's 47th catch of the year. He leads the NFC with 795 yards. In receiving, first down at the 22, Tampa. 3 wide receivers. You better look for William Howard. Bruce Hill's open at the 1. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Howard came clear out of the backfield. Instead, Testaverde went down to Hill, down the middle. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
And he loves to throw that pattern. He loves to throw the seam pattern over the top. Here we see Bruce Hill in the slot. Makes a little move. And there you see him running away from the defensive back, Durson, number 22, who was covering man for man on that play.
Boy, that was a fine read that time by Vinny Testaverde.
It was, and I tell you, even though his passing percentages aren't that great this afternoon, I tell you one thing, he's throwing the ball to the right guy most of the time.
Igwebuike's kick is good. And Donald Igwebuike, with that extra point, has become the first Buccaneer to ever score 300 points.
Here we see it from a defensive standpoint now. Good protection, a good alley to throw the ball down the seam. There you see Hill licking Durson on the play, number 22, and he makes the catch all stretched out for the touchdown.
Well, Igwebuike, 300 points now. First Buccaneer to ever do that.
And he's getting better and better and better all the time. He's very conscientious, very dedicated, and has done a terrific job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, Vinny Testaverde told us last night that the fans will forget his bad games as soon as he has some good ones. But he said he'll never forget the boos he heard last week, or the week before rather, when he threw 6 interceptions against Minnesota. And I think that'll turn you around real quick when you learn the realities of professional football.
And I think that was a point he was trying to make. I don't think he was trying to infer that he was mad at the fans at all. He just indicated that he would never forget what their reaction was to a bad performance.
A growing experience for him.
Yes, sir.
Igwebuike gets a very short kickoff. This one's taken by Gentry. And the tackle's made by Jackie Walker. So a 12-yard return. Now there's a fine mist starting to fall here at Soldier Field. Some of the other defensive schemes we've been seeing all afternoon. The dime package, 6 defensive backs, Rod Jones and Donnie Elder come in. That's a 4-1-6. And the penny is basically the same as the dime. Jones and Elder come in as defensive backs. Moss and Washington stay at linebacker. Only the number of rushmen change. They have 3 down linemen. Muster in the ball game now for Chicago. Thornton in motion. First down and 10. Tomczak throws this one, and it's complete at the 47 to Wendell Davis.
Futrell, number 36, involved in a coverage on a play action fake, and it wasn't a very good fake at all, a very poor fake, but it was effective enough where they made the reception and completed the pass for the first down.
Gain of 19, the ball at the 47. 5 minutes, 22 seconds remain, third period. The give straight ahead, nothing there. Maybe a yard. Muster out near midfield. Muster had only 1 carry last week for 15 yards. He also had 2 catches, but he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry for the season.
Yeah, he's a big lumbering guy, and he really doesn't get into the hole as quickly as you'd like for him to.
McMahon was funny. He said, you know, I'm surprised that Muster doesn't have any speed. He says the coaches call him a glider.
You have to have some justification for drafting somebody number 1.
Second down and 7. I'll give you some justification. He almost had 3,000 yards and 27 touchdowns at Stanford.
He did. He was terrific at Stanford. He really was.
Tomczak, 3-step drop, throws to the flat to his tight end. It's complete at the 47-yard line of Tampa Bay. Barry Hamilton makes the tackle there, but it will not be enough for a first down.
And I must add that the coaching staff and the people here at Chicago Bears, they like Muster very much, and they think he's going to be an outstanding back for them.
Well, he's a big, strong guy, 6'3", 231 pounds. It'll be third down and 5, the ball at the 48. I said there was a fine mist falling now, but I think it has some ice pellets in it. Bouncing off the top of our monitors here. Shotgun formation, McKinnon in motion. This is Gentry. And he's not going to get to the first down markers. Knocked down by Futrell at the 44-yard line, so they'll be a little less than 2 yards shy. So the Tampa defense holds. And the crowd doesn't like Chicago punting this ball away. Wagner comes on to punt.
And we asked Tobin yesterday who's going to make that decision in critical situations during the course of the game. Are the offensive coordinators, or who's going to make that decision? He said, I will make those calls as to whether we kick a field goal, whether we'll punt, whatever the situation is, I will make, that's my responsibility.
He made it. The punt's a low one. It hits at the 10, and it'll go out of bounds at the 6. A 38-yard punt, but it was nicely done. We were talking with Wagner. He says, I don't pooch the ball and I don't punt, but I will aim for the corners, and he did that time, and it went out at the 6.
Here we compare the Bears defense with their Super Bowl year, 1985, and as you look at it, it's interesting to note that they're better in every category. It's a pretty strong endorsement of how well they're playing defensively.
And you know, that's not only in 88, but in 86 was the same thing. And Vince Tobin tries to let everybody know that. Buddy Ryan was a fine defensive coach, but so is Vince Tobin. In his own end zone, the ball is complete. Out to the 21st down to Carrier, and oh, what a dangerous pass. It was tipped.
The old shot there where you follow the bouncing ball.
It headed in the direction of McGee.
Yeah, McGee, and then here we go with the tip drill. There it is, up in the air, and it's finally caught by Carrier for the reception.
Carrier's third catch of the day, 15-yard gain. It'll be first down and 10, the ball on the 21. And it looks like Testaverde's checking off. He does. Straight ahead they go to Howard. Howard bangs his way to the 24-yard line and beats Dan Hampton head on. As I look at the scoreboard and see the Bears leading 28-10, Hank, this Bear defense has held opponents to 10 points or less most of the year. 5 straight games they had. That was the first time that's happened since 1942.
It's hard to believe that they could do that in National Football League, the way teams, explosive as teams are offensively, they could do that kind of a job defensively.
On 2nd and 6, the Bucs show 3 wide receivers. And then throw underneath to their fullback Howard. Out to the 30-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the first down where Singletary and Rivera take him down. Right now, Chicago has a 2-game lead on Minnesota in the NFC Central. And when somebody asked McKinnon about that lead and the race in the Central Division, he said there is no race. It's over as long as we continue to win. And he's right.
That's right. He said school was out. That was it.
Tampa Bay down at the bottom with Green Bay and Detroit 2-7 records. Although Tampa Bay has had 7 games decided by 6 points or less. Testaverde wants a timeout.
You know, surprising. I never thought about it before until I talked to Herb Patera, one of the assistant coaches of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He said, you know, it's amazing. A lot of our young people, so many of them are from the South. This is the first time a lot of these young kids have ever seen snow.
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's quite an observation. Here we're getting ready to play a football game. He made that observation. I thought it was kind of interesting.
You know, looking on television at the field, though, it's difficult to tell that it did snow here because the tarpaulin was down. They took the tarp off just before the game, just before the teams came out. So the snow, as you can see over Ray Perkins' shoulder there, is against the walls and back in the corners. Hey, what keeps an old man young at heart? Well, you can find out when 60 Minutes tries to keep up with that 92-year-old legend, George Burns. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, then part 1 of the CBS miniseries, Internal Affairs, starring Richard Crenna and Kate Capshaw. That's tonight on CBS. There's a look at the corner and the snow we were telling you about. That all fell this morning.
And that's not shaving cream, that's real snow.
The players came out and the fans started throwing snowballs at them. So if some of those players hadn't seen snow before, they felt it.
I remember watching the Bears practice years ago, and George Halas came out in the field. There was snow all over. The players were throwing snowballs. And when he came out in the field, he watched them for a few minutes. He said, "You like throwing those snowballs? I want to see how much you really like them. The next guy that throws one, it'll cost him $50." And they all dropped in a hurry.
Saw the moon boots on Walter Payton. 3rd and 1. Testaverde throws, and it's complete to the 45 to Bruce Hill. That was a tough catch and throw.
He had to throw that between 3 defensive people and got it right on the money. And a beautiful catch by Bruce Hill, number 84.
Gain of 15. That's the 4th catch of the day for Hill. The tackle was made by Crum. As you see the time there, 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. What a year Hill is having. Leads the NFL with 7 touchdowns. Had 4 catches last week for 61 yards and a touchdown. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Chicago Bears 28, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Excitement. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. And by Blue Diamond Growers, a can a week. That's all we ask.
In the distance, the skyline of Chicago, and this city has changed dramatically since Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked that lantern.
Kicked it pretty hard too, didn't he?
Look at this. Tampa Bay has outscored opponents 82 to 28 in the final period. First down and 10. Testaverde drills this one, and it's complete to Hall. In Chicago territory, and Vinny's now on a roll. He's hit his last 6 passes. Score by quarter, scoreless after the first. Igwebuike hit a field goal. Then touchdowns by Chicago. Sanders from 1 yard out, Anderson from 1 yard out. And the 3rd quarter was all Chicago.
And really, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have really had some remarkable comebacks in the 2nd half, in the 4th quarter especially. They didn't win the games, but they came back in good shape.
Reverse, flea flicker, fumble. Chicago's got it, I think. We'll wait for the call. Tampa Bay gets it back. gets it back.
And Dent came from his right end position. It looked like he was in a huddle and knew what was coming. Here's the reverse. And there comes Dent. And it looks like he had a good chance to make the play and went over the ball. Here it is. Watch Hill. Look at Dent. Look at Dent. Gruber, number 74, is trying to keep him out of the picture. But it looked like he was going to recover the ball, but it wound up being Bruce Hill, number 84.
Loss of 14. It'll be 2nd and 24 for Tampa Bay. That play hurts. Pressure. That's the first Bears sack in 7 quarters. This one by Dent. It's his 8th of the year.
I think Dent was upset about the fact that he didn't recover that fumble and came rushing in and got the sack. Watch 95. Watch Gruber, the young rookie from Wisconsin. And Dent makes the inside move, however. Inside move, and makes the sack on Testaverde. He started outside, went back inside, and made the sack.
That puts him in the sack lead, 1 ahead of McMichael. He led the Bears in sacks last year with 13 and a half. It's 3rd and 32. Again, there's pressure. And Hill can't hold on. That ball was perfectly thrown right in Hill's hands, and he dropped it. Right now, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent?
Tim, a tough run here by Finney of the Minnesota Vikings, and finally they extend a little daylight with the Detroit Lions. It's 30-17 after the extra point. Watch this effort here. Bang, and he's in for 6. And let's go back to Tim.
That'll keep Minnesota in the hunt with Chicago, 2 games back in the Central. As Chicago continues to cruise here, 28-10. This is a good snap. Griswold gets off a high spiraling punt, but it doesn't turn over. McKinnon will call for the fair catch at the 29. 35-yard punt. No return. And McKinnon now will stay in for offense. It'll be first down at the 36, Chicago, when we come back.
Bring on the city, bring on the night.
If you like to drive, the 89 Grand Prix is a car you're gonna love. Pontiac guarantees it.
Yeah! Pontiac. Get on your Pontiac.
Take 30 days after you buy your new 89 Grand Prix to make sure it's the ride of your life.
Tomczak 9 of 11 for 130 yards and 2 missed field goals by Igwebuike of the Buccaneers. Is it too late for Tampa?
Listen, anytime you have a guy like Testaverde playing quarterback and the ability to catch the ball and throw it like they do, you always have a chance to come back and make a game of it. This could happen in the 4th quarter.
Let's take you back and let's look at the touchdown, the last one scored by the Bears.
Well, this is a great block here by Wojciechowski on the blitzing linebacker, Winston Moss. He throws the ball downfield to Emery Moorehead. Oh, that's the play action pass. I'm sorry. That's the play action pass in short yardage.
I don't know why you're sorry. You called the play.
I didn't have my glasses on. Didn't see it.
First down and 10. The ball on the 30. Buster and Sanders in the backfield for Chicago. McKinnon in motion at the bottom of your screen. Sanders, big hole right side. Out to the 40-yard line.
What a hole.
That thing really popped open, didn't it?
That really popped open. You drive a Jeep through that hole, and as wide as that was.
Gain of 11. It'll be first down, Bears. Sanders had only 2 carries for 1 yard last week. That 1 carry makes up for last week's unsuccessful effort. First down and 10. Ball on the 41 for Chicago now. Tomczak redirects McKinnon, who goes to the top of the screen. Sanders at the bottom. Tomczak with time throws the out pattern, and it's complete. It'll be close to another Chicago first down. Dennis Gentry goes out of bounds in Tampa territory at the 49.
And Tomczak is really on the roll, and he looks very comfortable, very confident, and he's throwing the ball extremely well.
A look at Jimbo Covert, who came back to this game, and it's good to see him back in the lineup for Chicago.
Bears sure like to see him back in the lineup, especially Dick Stanfield, the fine line coach of the Chicago Bears.
Well, he tried to come back a little bit too early, they thought. So they put him back, had him work out, get him in shape, and he's ready to go again. Sanders picks his way and tap dances up to the 47-yard line. Ron Holmes makes the tackle.
We go see a good shot. Watch Cobra number 74 against Holmes. Gets a good surge, gets a good inside-out block on him, but loses it. And Holmes comes in from the backside and makes the tackle. Good effort on the part of Holmes, number 90 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Second down and 8 at the 46. Sanders. Oh, what a hit. John Cannon did that just like they draw him up, tuck the tail, sky the eyes, and drive right through the ball carrier, and that's what he did to Sanders. Pancaked him.
You know, the nice thing about it, he was good and low. Look at this score, 27-10. Philadelphia over Rams.
How about this? Tom Landry will continue to take the heat in Dallas. Chuck Noll will in Pittsburgh as well. 4 wide receivers now for Chicago on 3rd down and 7. Anderson in the shotgun back with Tomczak, who double pumps, reloads, and throws, and it's complete. Dennis Gentry makes the catch at the 27-yard line.
Donnie Elder trying to cover on the play, threw it right in front of Elder, makes some inside move, Gentry does, and Tomczak puts it right on the shelf. A beautiful shot.
A gain of 20.
We see some pressure on Tomczak this time. He pumps and finally gets rid of the football right about the time he's going to get hit by Rawlings, number 55, who was blitzing on the play.
Tomczak now 16 of 23 for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Impressive numbers. Throws again on 1st down. Just puts this one up for grabs, and it's intercepted. This is Harry Hamilton, and Hamilton back to the 15, and that was a dangerous pass and shouldn't have been thrown. He just threw it up in the air in the direction of Dennis Gentry.
I think what happened on the play, Winston Moss was blitzing on the play, number 57. He felt him coming, and as a result, threw the ball up on top. Watch on the right side of your picture. Watch Winston Moss, 57, blitzing on the play. He's getting penetration, and Tomczak, I think, feels it, throws the ball with anticipation, throws it a little bit short to Gentry, and is intercepted there by Harry Hamilton, number 39.
A look at Mike Tomczak, who told us yesterday if he threw an interception or did something wrong, he'd have a conversation with himself and pretend that he's Ditka, yelling at himself. This is 1st down for Tampa Bay. Throws it over the middle to Howard, and it's complete to the 22-yard line. How about that? Said he was going to imagine Ditka yelling at him.
Yeah, he was laughing himself about that discussion.
Maybe he's on the phone with Mike Ditka. See the headset? He may be talking to the hospital.
I guarantee the doctor will not let Mike Ditka have a telephone this afternoon.
I think it's a major upset. He's letting him watch the game. Mike's doing fine, and of course, Mike, we send our best. Get well soon. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Giants leading Dallas 26-7. How about things out there in the NFC East? Philadelphia beating the Rams 27-10. Giants on top 6-3. Phoenix 5-4. Washington at 5-4. Redskins playing New Orleans, the 2nd game of our doubleheader. Testaverde throws this one on the out pattern, and it's complete to Ron Hall as tight end. Gain of 13, it'll be a 1st down. 8 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the ball game. That's Hall's 4th catch of the day. now has 26 catches for the year.
I think he's one of the outstanding tight ends in the business, too. I think he's going to be terrific. Talking about Ron Hall.
Perkins loves it, calls him Iron Man. This is complete down inside the 40 to Calvin McGee, the other tight end. Tackle made by Jim Morrissey, but Tampa Bay moves it right down against the Bears. A gain of 23. It'll be first down in Chicago territory. Seven minutes, 40 seconds remain. Testaverde's got to pick up the pace a little bit.
Guarantee you, he'll scare you the way they throw the ball.
Carrier comes to the bottom of the screen. Hill to the top. Two tight ends for Tampa Bay. Testaverde's hit 9 of his last 10. The Bears show blitz. Here they come. Should be pass interference. The flag is thrown. Richardson hit Hill while the ball was in the air, and it's going to be against the Bears. Here's the call.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, first down.
No question about it.
Watch Richardson, number 27. He's laying off on Hill. Here it is. And Hill comes to the inside, which I don't think Richardson anticipated. And he hit him while the ball was in the air, and they call pass interference, which is justified on the play.
And the ball was catchable in the judgment of the officials. Pass interference, it's first down and 10. Ball at the 22-yard line. Testaverde drills this one across the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Mark Carrier.
That kind of a pass has to be thrown from the chin down, because once it's up in the air, if you don't catch it, there's always a chance for an interception. You throw it down low enough, why even if he doesn't make the catch, it'll go right down to the turf, and you don't have to worry about any kind of a turnover on the play.
And again, that ball was drilled, and even the gloves that Carrier feels so confident with couldn't slow that one down.
Well, they're probably a little singed.
Second and 10. Carrier and Hill to the bottom of your screen. Hill in motion. Testaverde throws a timing pattern. Incomplete, intended for Hill.
Here we see Randy Grimes, who I think is one of the outstanding centers. This is against McMichaels, but he's a good one. I think one of the best centers in the National Football League. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, but I guarantee you he is a good one. Randy Grimes played his collegiate football at Baylor.
Well, the coaches say he's having an all-pro season. He started 55 straight ball games, so he is durable.
And he loves to play. He's a great attitude guy.
Today makes 56. Third down and 10, the ball at the 22. Testaverde throws this one intercepted. Bestie Jackson puts a move on Testaverde, and Testaverde makes the tackle at the 44. Vinny Testaverde has thrown one interception for every 13 passes when you average out the season. That's his 24th of the year.
And the average is one. If you throw the ball 17 times, you're going to have one interception. Here's another shot of it. You be the quarterback like Testaverde, throwing to the spot. Jackson, with great anticipation, comes up with the interception and brings it back all the way down with good field position for the Chicago Bears.
6:48 remaining in the ball game.
You hear the thunder.
It's Tobin, the acting head coach, interim head coach, says he's not replacing Ditka. He's just filling in for him. But he's going to be 1-0 as a head man.
You'd love to start that way if you have the opportunity. That's the only way to go.
First down and 10. Fifth time Tampa's been inside Chicago's 25. Only 10 points to show for it. Again, they turn it over, and Chicago capitalizes quickly with a big gain around the right side.
And talking about Ditka, as you mentioned just a minute ago, Steve Kaiser, the assistant coach of the Chicago Bears, said the other day that he took the coach to the hospital, and when he got there, the nurse said, "Just a minute, coach, I got to get your wheelchair and wheel you back here." He said, "No, I don't want a wheelchair. I'll just walk back there." She said, "No, you'll ride in the wheelchair. I'm the head coach here. Here it is. Sit down, coach." And he said, "Yes, ma'am," and off they went.
If I remember correctly, it's a similar situation when you were in the hospital in Indianapolis. They told you the same thing.
That's exactly right. And I said, "No way, I'm going to be in the wheelchair." But the next thing I knew, I was sitting in it.
2nd and 4 to 38. Anderson on a little delay. Time continues to roll away from Tampa Bay at 5:48. Anderson may be shaken up a little bit, and so is Kevin Murphy. Anderson limps back to the huddle. Now he looks fine. Murphy's not getting up. Kevin Murphy, third-year player out of Oklahoma. See the drizzle there as you look at Neal Anderson. You see the drizzle and the snow flurries over his shoulder. Nasty weather. Hank, if I said War Eagle, would you know what it is?
No.
That's Auburn's battle cry.
I hear it so much, you say that in your sleep, I think.
Next weekend, Tracy Rocker anchors Auburn, team that leads the nation in total defense. The 9th-ranked Tigers take on the Georgia Bulldogs, led by junior running sensation Tim Worley. It's a pivotal SEC battle. Both have only one loss in the conference. Georgia-Auburn next Saturday on CBS. As you look at the standings, Auburn had 3 straight shutouts. They were working on 4. Southern Mississippi scored yesterday with 1:47 remaining in the ball game. Auburn did win it 38-8. Next week on CBS, Kevin Murphy's up, and it looks like he'll be okay.
Tell you one thing, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers feel good about those young linebackers, Kevin Murphy, Sidney Coleman, and Winston Moss.
4 wide receivers for Chicago on 3rd and 5. Little shuffle pass inside. Ball's loose. Tampa Bay gets it. On 3rd down against the nickel, the Bears love that shuffle pass. It's a safe play most of the time, but it is wet. The conditions are sloppy. Gentry let the ball get away, and Harris made the recovery.
Here we see it. He looks like he's going to run the option, and then throws a forward pass, and the ball pops out of there.
Looked like a bar of soap.
Yes, it did. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have possession, 1st and 10.
And new life with 5:20 remaining in the ball game. 28-10 is our score. Carrier and Hill, the wideouts. Testaverde has pressure. He's going to get rid of it, and he does. In the direction of William Howard, incomplete. Looked like Smith and Shapiro with the pressure.
They really were anxious to put the squeeze on him. They got good penetration. 97 Smith and Shapiro 94. There he's back in the pocket now. Watch him. He scampers. He's flushed out of the pocket. Smith is trying to chase him along with Shapiro, and he gets rid of the ball just barely in time before he gets the sack.
Good look at Sean Smith, 290-pounder out of Grambling. 2nd down and 10 from the 30. 3-step drop, 1st down Tampa Bay as Carrier goes across the 45-yard line to the 46. Bestie Jackson makes the tackle there.
Carrier made an interesting point about wearing gloves. He said, when I wear gloves, my hands are protected, my hands feel softer, and I catch the ball with my hands all the time. If I don't wear gloves, then I have a tendency to try to use my body some, and a lot of those balls will hit me and bounce out. So I really enjoy and like wearing gloves.
Word from the Tampa bench is that Kevin Murphy's fine, and Testaverde's in a whole lot of trouble. throws this one complete to his tight end, Calvin McGee. I was worried about Murphy, the way he didn't get up right away, but they say it's a stinger where the nerve is just touched and pins and needles shoot through him. Here's the call. It's against the Bears. Again, Richard Dent had the pressure on Testaverde.
Holding, number 51 defense. First down.
That's Jim Morrissey, who was holding.
Good shot at Dent, and of course, you know, the great thing about Dent is he really explodes off the line of scrimmage on a predictable down, passing down when he knows they're going to throw the ball. He's like in a three-point stance, and like he's in the starting blocks, gets off the ball very quickly.
Testaverde throws again to his tight end Hall, and Hall will be close to a first down. And it will be a first down for Tampa Bay. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
Well, Tim, we've got a story with the Dallas Cowboys. They've changed quarterbacks, and Kevin Sweeney has given them a shot in the arm against the Giants. Flushed from the pocket, Michael Irvin, the rookie, makes his way back toward the front of the end zone, and now the Cowboys are not yet out of it. 26-14, 8.5 minutes to go. Back to 10.
Boy, that's a tough throw across your body like that on the move, too, but Sweeney's got a strong arm, Brent. First down and 10 here for Testaverde at the 39. Going for Carrier. Incomplete. Broken up nicely by Vesty Jackson, number 24.
Richard Dent that time got off the ball so quickly, number 95. I thought he was offside.
You know, I thought the same thing.
Did you notice it? There's a great illustration of how fast he really gets off the ball. He gets a wide angle too, which makes it tough on that tackle. Makes it tough on the tackle. Gruber, look how wide he is. Now Gruber, number 74, has got to block him. Gives him a push to the outside, and of course Testaverde is able to get rid of the ball in good shape.
That'll give you an indication why he's led the Bears in sacks the last 4 years. Second down and 10 from the 39. Incomplete. This one was intended for Bruce Hill, who was running a post pattern. There is a flag. And it's going to be holding against Tampa Bay. As you look at some of the scores on the CBS Sports Wire. Atlanta.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 69 offense. Still second down.
That's the rookie out of Tennessee, John Bruin. Wind chill factor was about 10 degrees when this game started. Testaverde came out when he first got here in his t-shirt. This one complete to Hill, deep in Chicago territory. They'll mark it at the 24-yard line. Hill was working on Todd Crum, and the ball was perfectly thrown by Testaverde. Gain of 25. Philadelphia still beating the LA Rams. Let's take a look at those NFC West standings. The Rams 7-2 right now. New Orleans playing Washington in the second game of our CBS doubleheader at 7-2 as well, and the 49ers at 6-3.
Yeah, they're in pursuit. They still got a good shot at it.
Catch is made by Gene Taylor after bobbling the ball at the 21-yard line. Mike Singletary and Dave Duerson make the tackle. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. Well, they're starting to leave Soldier Field as the rain and snow picks up a little bit. We're going to get the 2-minute warning before Testaverde can get this play off. And there's timeout on the field with 2 minutes remaining. The Bears leading 28-10. The mixture of snow and rain has started to pick up at Soldier Field. 2 minutes remaining, 28-10 is our score. Chicago leading Tampa Bay. And as you look down the road, I'd say the schedule favors Chicago, Hank.
Very much so. Yeah, this is a definite big plus for the Chicago Bears from here on in. And There's what it looks like. Washington, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams, Detroit, and Minnesota.
And that Minnesota game, of course, could be a critical game in the NFC Central, depending on what happens between now and then. This pass into the end zone is intended for Pillow, incomplete. Broken up by Maurice Douglas. In the offseason, Maurice Douglas is an ecdysiast.
You said what?
An ecdysiast.
That's what I got when I had my operation. What is that?
Well, I think that's some kind of dancer. That's what it says in the press guide. He does that in the offseason. 3rd down and 7. Testaverde hangs in the pocket and throws this one through the end zone. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram at Soldier Field. It's been a football kind of day, hasn't it? Snow, rain, cold, wind, but it's been fun. Chicago looks strong.
They look very proficient here this afternoon. They really did. And I think the great thing about it is I think they have to feel good about the way they played offensively. Tomczak did a terrific job, which is obvious, but I think overall, from an overall standpoint, throwing the ball, running the ball, I think you have to say they'd be very impressive here this afternoon. They got to feel good about that.
And of course, Tampa Bay has 13 true rookies, 4 first-year guys, so 34 players acquired by Tampa Bay in either 87 or 88. Testaverde's in trouble, and he stumbles down at the 44. Dan Hampton chased him all the way back to the 44-yard line, and he had help there with Steve McMichael. Hey, you know, I was talking about the youth of Tampa Bay, and that guy right there, Ray Perkins, feels strong about his team. But Chicago has 13 rookies as well, and tied with Tampa Bay with the most rookies in the league.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about it is the fact that they can have 13 young people and have the record that they have, talking about the Bears.
Coming up next, game 2 of today's exciting doubleheader on CBS. You'll either see San Francisco at Phoenix or New Orleans at Washington. That's coming up next year on CBS. 47th birthday for Ray Perkins today, and it's not exactly the way he wanted this game to go, but there's a lot of talent on this team. Both sides of the line of scrimmage.
You know, the other thing, observation we ought to make, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the offense? It looked like it was a little different, a little bit more wide open than it used to be. People have to understand that the game plan was put in by Mike Ditka and the coaching staff before he went to the hospital. So this is still Mike's plan, and this is the way they executed it here this afternoon.
Tampa Bay wants timeout. We'll take one as well. We'll be back. Has never been within 6 points of the Bears at Soldier Field, ever. And it won't happen today either. 2nd down and 9 for Chicago. Sanders takes it out near midfield. Ricky Reynolds makes a pretty good tackle on him with 1:17 left. Tampa takes another timeout.
You know, with all the things that have happened to this Tampa Bay Buccaneer football team, I'm impressed with the way Ray Perkins feels about his team. He consistently talks about good people, and he feels very strongly about the fact that he's got a good young team, and he feels that they're going to enjoy success as they go down the road. And, you know, he's very positive about what's going on with his young team.
Well, he has 34 players that he's acquired in either 1987 or 1988. He said it was frustrating last year about this time when the players' attitude changed dramatically. He said they couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now he's got all these young players, and you're right, Hank. Things have changed. He is positive. The team's optimistic, and there's some good young talent. Meanwhile, Vince Tobin, the acting head coach of the Chicago Bears, going to be 1-0 in his head coaching debut.
I'd like to talk to him after the game and see how much more loose he is after the game than he was before the game. He could hardly talk. When I saw him on the field before the game, he could hardly talk. He was so tight.
3rd down and 6, Chicago at midfield. Tomczak, play action. Has this one complete to Muster, and Muster's taken down at the 42-yard line. Tomczak took a late hit that time. No flag. See if the defender went beyond the one step.
There's a play action fake. He rolls to the outside. It's a blitz on the play. Walker, number 56, was blitzing the linebacker and hit Tomczak after the shot, after the ball was thrown.
Took his breath away a little bit.
Yes, he did.
Tomczak will go to 12-2 as a starter in the NFL. 5-0 against Tampa Bay. He's never lost to this team. And he'll just run a clock play now and down it. So in the face of adversity, first losing the quarterback, then losing the coach, the Chicago Bears rise to the occasion and play extremely well here this afternoon against Ray Perkins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll do it. It's official. The win is in the books. For Hank Stram, this is Tim Brandt saying so long from Soldier Field in Chicago. With the final score once again, the Bears 28, the Buccaneers 10. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local stations.
Behind every single flight one of these makes stand the six.
Well, tonight, Coach Ditka, the Bears knew that their guy would need a victory to help his recovery, and he got it today. But today's 28-10 victory over Tampa also helped a Bears team that was coming off a loss and looking for a boost into next week's game at Washington. Mike Tomczak did a solid job starting in place of Jim McMahon. Tomczak completed 18 passes for 269 yards and a pair of touchdowns, including that one to Dennis McKinnon in the third quarter, a 45-yard job. And acting head coach Vince Tobin got the victory while Iron Mike was in the hospital. A good one for Tobin.
I told him last night and last week this was an extremely, extremely critical ball game to us because we'd gotten beat last week against New England. We had a lot of reasons to fail, and that's all reasons are. To fail is reasons, and they're excuses. And I just felt like it was a critical ball game that if we'd have lost today and going into Washington next week, that we could have really been behind the 8-ball, and they responded extremely well.
Yes, indeed. Mark Giangreco and Dave Duerson are standing by here in the Channel 5 studios to bring you Sports Sunday. They'll analyze the Bears game with all the highlights and do the same with the rest of the day in the NFL. Sports Sunday with Mark Giangreco and Dave Duerson coming up at 10:30. The Blackhawks
get well card, and the one the Bears provided on his hospital room TV set today. They may have raised his pulse a bit by running only 6 plays in the first quarter, but then Mike Tomczak started making good things happen, and the Bears went on to beat Tampa Bay for the 11th straight time, 28-10.
I thought Mike Tomczak did an excellent job, and Coach Ditka mentioned Mike Tomczak as doing a great job. You know, he was in certainly a worse situation than I was in having to come in for